different components which are having their own activities and functionalities. That is one thing actually. It is all equipped and at the moment I am giving some kind of the task, it immediately executes. But whereas everything is configured on a single machine and that machine itself is acting as multiple activities. It is scoping for multiple activities. Then obviously the performance storage wise and speedness wise distinct differentiate with the major thing. And I'm selecting this particular thing. So let me increase the font. Okay, it's a typical interface, friends. Okay, it is a Cloudera kind of thing. As usual, here also MySQL. So -u. It is Cloudera. Long back I have used this, guys. Nowadays I'm using our Workbench or virtual lab only, and -p. So Cloudera. Not Cloudera. Okay, right, no problem. Here I can replace this as a root. Oops, okay. Yes, okay. So this is also one of the provision we are having, and I don't want to stick you guys to Workbench or any other kind of the tool. Your capability or your running of the script must be suitable to any kind of the platform. And our friend Srinidhi asked, can you suggest something? Definitely, I will suggest some kind of other platform also, friends, uh, which is with minimal disturbance. I want to onboard you, like directly you can run the scripts whichever I am providing in the session, right? So to start with, actually we are having the show databases kind of the command. So here we are having various databases, and in the generation of this particular scripts and to work with various case studies, we may use some kind of the database. On top of that, I can run some kind of the queries. So let me use okay, some kind of retail DB. This particular retail DB is a database. Sorry guys, typo. So this retail DB is a database where I can have, oh my God. Okay, so just you can observe this and Control L to clear the screen. Show tables. Okay, I'm having categories, customers, department, order items, orders, and products. Okay, so what I will do is I asked you one question before going to break. Let me clarify and let us see how many of you have answered for client server and master slave, structured, semi-structured, and unstructured kind of the data. Okay. If I am referencing the client server kind of the environment, uh, so maybe I expect some of the members. Very good. Sahu, nice. Oh, Sahu has given the answer, and Shahid, and again Sahu given two answers. As of now, Sahu is a star performer of the day. Okay, very good. As of now. And before lunch, let me see any new stars are coming up. Okay, so let me share the screen so as to explain the convention of uh, this thing. So here the activities I am going to introduce you the SQL aspects. So day one of advanced SQL. Okay, so now observe here, guys. I have put a question like what is the distinction? I'll come back to our friend's narration. First, I want to give you the understanding of um, what exactly the client server and as well as the master slave. So here objectives of the session. So initially we have seen the first thing. I have mentioned the course structure. This is one thing, guys. Second important thing is the labs we have seen so as to cater the needs. And third important thing is the evaluation criteria. OK, so let me, yeah, it is flickering otherwise. So now I asked you one question like, friends, client server versus a master slave. OK, so uh, suppose in the client server, friends, there is one server machine, which is a higher capable machine. And this particular machine is connected with multiple clients, client 1, client 2, and as well as client 3 likewise. So here the approach is like this. Client send a request and server respond. OK, so this is the communication, like, client is expecting some kind of the answer from the server, and it is giving some kind of the request, and server is going to respond back to the client request. Here the point is client may have its own memory. OK, and as well as it is having its own process also. It is having some kind of the task irrespective of the server. Second thing, server may have the data requested by the client. Friends, here you observe, it's not sure that definitely server is having the data. If server is having the data, then only it is going to serve the client request. So it is based on the request response. OK, request response. And if I'm talking about the example tools, OK, our client server environment, our databases like Oracle. OK, all these kind of things, SQL Server, all these things belongs to the category of the client server architecture. OK, so request response based, and client may be having its own memory or process, and server may or may not have the data requested by the client. If it is having the data, it is going to respond back. Otherwise, it won't respond back to the, I mean, response in the sense server need not guarantee the data which is requested by the client machine. OK, and coming to the next aspect, I asked you to work through the master slave architecture. OK, so master slave architecture, friends, here just I'm taking the example like I'm having a master machine, and all the slaves are connected to this master. OK, so just if you are referencing, there is one important point, friends. Master maintains metadata of the I would say cluster. Master maintain the metadata of the cluster. Slaves, follow the instructions of the master. Most importantly, friends, second point is after a stipulated time, the status of each slave will be given to master. Will be given to master. Let me explain what is a status. Status is nothing but about the activities which it is involved, about the free space, see, and about the availability. Now observe guys. So I'm coming back to the master slave architecture explanation. Master is a machine which is maintaining all the metadata information. That metadata is again, so this metadata is nothing but the file system information, storage information. File system information in the sense, suppose Praveen is having some file in his Indium laptop. So maybe like this, he's having some kind of the data, maybe is a Praveen, and from this first.txt, some kind of the file is there, something like that. So which is the file system generally map the appropriate information in a proper path. Storage information, however, as a part of these characteristics of the master slave, uh, these slaves are not having any separate functionality, friends. Those slaves wait for the instructions of the master, and whenever the master is giving some kind of instruction, according to the instruction given by the master, the slaves behave. They wait for the instruction and they properly follow the instructions of the master. That's all. Second thing is status update, because always, each and every status information of this particular slave will be updated with the master. See how good the property is. That's what, friends, master slave architecture is more reliable when compared with the client server. For that reason, our Hadoop and all the big data kind of things generally follows the master slave architecture. Reason behind that is entire observation is there in the format of the metadata from the master, and these particular slaves are not crossing any limits given by the master, so that a complete command is there on top of these particular slaves by the master. And moreover, the status updation is a versatile property, friends, actually master slave. Uh, uh, in case of the client server, there is no such status update kind of the mechanism. Rather, we are having some audit trails with the help of the triggers. Periodically, I will introduce those aspects. I don't want to overburden you. Slowly, I'm injecting the concepts so that you can also enjoy the journey. Okay, doesn't mean that putting all the things in a day. Okay, we are having still uh, 34 or something like hours. Definitely, we'll have all the discussions, right? Whenever there is a scope. And the status information involves the free slots and whether it is available or not, and all. And moreover, this particular thing is what exactly the status is about the activities, about the free space, and about the availability. Now, I'm asking you one question, friends, actually here. So suppose we are having the master and slave 1, slave 2, and slave 3. I am asking you two contexts. One is related to the storage aspect. This particular storage aspect, what it does is due to some problem, this slave 3 is not available. Maybe uh, it is out of our network. So we are having only slave 1 and slave 2. But this particular master should store the appropriate data of the slave 3 to someone else. Okay, maybe slave 4. What is the approach need to follow? This is the first question for you. Second question is, we are running a job, or we have submitted a program or algorithm. Okay, and however, while running this particular job, um, suppose I am working with some kind of threads, maybe thread 1, thread 2, and thread 3. Thread is nothing but part of the program, friends. And due to some reason, this T3 is not responding, not updating the status. So how master is knowing about the deadness of the server is, if any server is not responding to the master within the stipulated time. Maybe I'm having 10 nanoseconds time, and within the 10 nanoseconds time, if the slave is not able to respond to the master, then it has to do something, maybe in the storage and maybe in the processing. Now in the storage, what is the approach followed by the master slave? If any point come to your mind, I will take a pause here so that I will ask you. I am giving a space to you to share your thoughts through the chat or unmute yourself. That is the first question. Second question is, while running the job, maybe a particular task, okay, a particular task is not responding to the master, then how this particular thing will be compensated by the master? Okay, so these two are the questions I am putting in front of you. Maybe this is completely new to you also, friends, but just give a try. No problem. Just you can give a try so that just I will take it forward. Okay, yeah, I got the answers. And before that, let me see. Oh, very good. Flood of messages. Sahu says master slave versus client server. In master slave communication, the primary server is called master, which works as a original data handler, where secondary servers called slaves will work as a backup to primary server. Actual data will be stored in the slaves actually. Master only maintain the metadata. Okay, and in the client server communication, the client requests and server process the. Of course, it's a straightforward thing. Nothing more than that, because in client server the activity is pretty straightforward. Um, like the appropriate convention, whatever we are seeing, that convention is pretty straightforward, right? Okay. And coming to the other thing, Sahit says server client describe the relationship between the two devices that communicates, but in master slave, the interaction between the controller and one or more many clients. Yeah. Moreover, the master slave architecture is something like status based. Okay, so just we are having some kind of the convention of the sharing the information between master and slave. Uh, and thereafter, if you are referencing, okay, so all these kind of the convention. Let me download the attendance. Okay, so someone please on remember me, friends. Okay, just to give the information of the attendance I can see there. Okay, no problem in the chat window, no issue. So just later I'll just a second. So I'll do that. So because I have to share that, friends, files. No, no problem. So in the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I'll share the attendance. I'll do that offline, no problems. Yes, got it. Yes, okay. Why it is not showing. Okay, no problems. So with that, just let us go ahead with okay. So Praveen's Wasim's this thing is also there. So Srinidhi has given some other answers. Okay. So again, Sahu has given some answers. Structured, unstructured, I'll come to that point, but let us scope our ideas to client server master slave. If I am overlapping, again, you will be confused. Okay. So master slave is a concept of one controller and one or more many workers. While in client server, a relationship between two things, which is used in network scenarios, like especially in databases and all. Very good, Srinidhi. Correct. Structured, scoping. I am not scoping that. Maybe after completion of this topic, we'll go ahead. Yeah, Harish also given that. Yeah, Wasim says master slave is a concept of one controller and one or many workers, whereas client server is a relation between two things. Okay, you have to reframe your answer, Wasim. And Praveen says master slave, it is centralized. A very good point, Praveen, actually, right? So because uh, a master slave always is centralized, not master slave actually, client server. Okay, is a centralized kind of thing. Master slave, in fact, a distributed mechanism, guys. Okay, the task distribution, data distribution, because that particular whatever the metadata I'm having, that metadata is keep on shifting to multiple clients actually. So that is the one thing. And a client will request, Praveen is adding some more like point of contact to the master by the slaves, and client server is the client will request for the process and all the server will process that request. In master slave, there will be no point of contact. Only the thing is the slaves should have only the communication with the master. If the master machine had some problem, excellent. Okay, agreed. Because it's a single point failure, guys. Master, if I'm having only single master, obviously that particular thing is end up with some kind of the chaos. Okay. Now Vedant says a master slave is a master sending instructions to the slave, carries about the command. That's all. If there is a command to open something, then slave will do that. That's it. Client server does everything. Master, except that the server can automatically send information to the clients. Okay, this is also looking good, Vedanta. Impressed. And Praveen talking about structured, we are holding that point. So Janeshwar says master slave is a communication process in which one device has total control, one or more other devices. Yeah, of course. Because device here in the sense is a machine where it is having some kind of control over the appropriate slaves. Client server is a relationship in which one client is requesting something, and if that data is there within the master, it is going to respond back. Excellent. Very good, Ganesh. And Bharati says master slave system is one of one where the master communicates with one or more slave devices. Yeah, more slaves. The client server is the one which requests for data and the server will have to respond to the client for the data transfer. Maybe, I can take this as the slaves should follow the instructions of the master, and slaves are not having any specific task to perform basically. So uh, in that context, client server is more free because client need not always follow the instructions of the server, friends. In fact, there is no such kind of the rule. As I mentioned earlier in our discussion, client may be having some other activities also its own. Okay, that is the basic thing. Now, with that, what we are doing is we are jumping into the other discussion. Like if you see, I asked you one more question actually before taking up the master and client server. It's okay, no problem. So what I will do is uh, if you are making use of the convention like this master slave and all these kind of things, uh, two issues I have raised actually in case of the master slave. Two issues I have raised. The first issue is if any slave fails to respond, okay, to the master. Two contexts we have seen. One is how the stored data is handled. And second important thing is how the job is recovered. Because guys, here the point is because I am talking about the optimizations actually here, but I am not revealing that point. Okay, what I'm doing here is I want to embed the best practices and optimizations while using these kind of the technologies. So if any slave fails, there are two possibilities. One is how master can able to handle the data which is stored in that particular slave. And suppose while job is running, if any task fails, then how it is going to do? The answer is very simple, friends. For first question, there is a replication factor actually. You pretty know this from the database terminologies. Replication in the sense copying the same file at multiple locations. Okay, I'm having some kind of the data with me, and what I'm doing is I want to perform some kind of the uh, copying of the data. That means machine 1 is there, machine 2 and machine 3. Like that, we're having some machines in the master slave. So a file I want to save, and this particular file will be replicated in 3 machines. Okay, now as per our case, just this machine is not available. No problem. What it does is the master redirect the appropriate M3 information, because though M3 fails, but M2 and M1 are available. Na? From this M2, it is going to establish, okay, whatever the data available. So just it is going to establish to the new machine. This is pretty simple because the master is aware of the metadata information of the M2, I mean M3 failed node, whatever the node failed, and it is going to redirect the appropriate data to the new machine. That means 3 locations are there so as to store the data. We are assuming here the replication factor is 3. That means the same file is going to store in multiple locations. Though any problem is there for a particular machine, no problem. Still 2 more machines were there where the master could able to redirect the appropriate information to the new machine. Okay, so this is the thing. But the second thing is bit tricky, friends, actually. So a job is running and task 1, task 2, task 3 is there because uh, the job is distributed. Now, by the way, friends, what do you mean by distributed mechanism? How do you handle that? Because these two terms are very important. Even in our SQL discussion also, we frequently use this distributed mechanism and as well as the parallel mechanisms. Can someone help me how distributed mechanism and parallel mechanism can be achieved? So you can use the chat window. I will wait here. So distributed and as well as the parallel mechanism. No problem. Let me conclude this particular discussion. So then I will give some space to you, some logical break of 2 to 3 minutes. You can think through and you can answer this distributed mechanism and as well as the parallel. So moreover, friends, uh, giving the answer, just you are giving excellent. That is, I have to appreciate that. Try to reframe the answer. Though you are Googling, that is absolutely fine. This is not, we are not doing any plagiarism or any check here. Only the thing is whether you are able to answer the appropriate question. At this moment I am talking. At this moment, just I am expecting you guys to fetch the data and give the answer. So at the moment I am talking about the answering of the questions. Though you are getting the information from Google or somewhere, just to reframe that in your own context, in your own way, just you can reframe that. And what I will do is from however, before leaving the session, I'll give some kind of the task to you, and I will mention some of the members, maybe 3 to 4 members to prepare something and only small topics only. So just you can directly either you can open the website or you can Google it dynamically and you can explain. Only the thing is I will see your explanation capabilities, how we are explaining the things and how we are interacting. Suppose I may ask you and even your friends are also ready to ask the doubts. OK, so that however we are doing. But in the meantime, so just while surfing the Google also, just you curate the appropriate data. Curation in the sense, whatever the data you are fetching, try to fetch that particular data and try to reframe the answer according to the question. OK, that is expected. Now you see task 1, task 2 and task 3 of a particular job. And obviously these particular tasks are nothing but the slaves. And these things should update the status information to the master. But due to some reason, maybe unavailability of the data or due to the failure of the tasks, this T3 not updated the status with master. Updated the status with master. Then what is the solution for this, guys? As mentioned earlier, the solution is master elect new machine, name that as T4, and which redirects, which assign all works of T3 to T4. It's simple, friends. Suppose our friend is not well, T3, our friend in the team, we are 3 members in the team, assume that T3 is sick. Then what manager does? So all the T3 activities, maybe client interaction, or you need to give some kind of the presentation to the client. So I am establishing, I am assigning the task to T4. So whatever the activities is with T3, those things will be redirected to T4. That is a general thing. But the question I am asking you here is, it's absolutely fine. Now T4 take over and complete the task. But the second point I am highlighting here is after assigning the task to T4 by master. OK, then again T3 is back. Problem here, as I mentioned, maybe unavailability of the data. This may be the criteria, or else failure. Failure means no problem. T4 can able to hand over activities of T3 and it is going to conclude. But now the point is T3 is not dead, friends. Actually, it's not a failure. Due to some unavailability of the data, T3 could not able to respond back to the master. Now the point is T4 and T3 are working on the same task. Same task. Now tell me whether master should keep T4 or T3. First option. Second is both T4 and T3. My question is a bit tricky, friends. If I'm asking you any question after explaining the scenario, just take a pause and think through. OK, don't be in a hurry. You are not going to get any brownie points for giving the wrong answer. OK, so but definitely for the right answer, you will be identified as a star performer based on your sharpness and based on your, I mean, the curation of the answer. Though you have copied the data somewhere, definitely you can, no problem, you can copy. But only the thing is you need to improvise the data according to our requirement. Just to reframe the sentence. Now the point is to set the context again to understand, to let you know the exact point here. What I am saying here is while running the job, if any particular task is not responding to the master, it is the responsibility of the master to establish a new task rather than waiting, because entire job is suffering due to that. Now the point is what we are talking here. Master observed it has not received any report or any update from the T3. So obviously T4 is established by the master so as to take over the activities of the T3. Now the point is there is a problem actually. If T4 is if T3 is completely dead, no problem. T4 can able to complete the task. But the point here is after some time again T3 started responding back to the master. So that means at the outset, both T3 and T4 are working on the same task. Now the decision of the master, whether it should keep both T3 and T4 or else it should keep either. Then what is the criteria followed by the master for better optimization? I have revealed the answer also for the better optimization, how the master behaves. Now you can think through, friends. I will wait here. No problem. Just I am waiting here, guys, for you. Uh, so how the master behaves. So Srinidhi, super. Excellent, Srinidhi. I can say after Sahu, you are the member who is really interactive. Okay, starting from the session. Uh, After this question, let me see how many members not yet given even a single answer. I don't see any member. Almost all members has given the have given the answers to the questions whichever I asked. So no problem. Okay, I'll wait. So just I'm waiting for your uh, this thing, guys. Your answer. Okay, still some of the answers I'm expecting. No problem. Take your time. So by 12:30, I'll take up the answers, friends. Meantime, you can surf, as I mentioned, you need to reframe the corresponding questions, right? Okay. So guys, let me see how many of you have given the answer. Okay, so as already we have seen, Srinidhi has given the best answer because I need to see how other members responded to my question. Srinidhi says based on the performance of T3 and T4, who works respond? Yeah, should be continue. Excellent, because it all the status matters, friends. Really, you know. Suppose I'm giving a task to both Srinidhi and as well as Sravanti, and if Sravanti is more ahead to the task, then obviously I have to depend on Sravanti only rather than Srinidhi. In the same manner, the distributed aspects also should be followed the same kind of the convention. That is the first point. Very good. And Wasim says either one who perform well and other one has to assign another task by master or another machine. There is a small trick actually, guys. Yeah, Wasim has raised one more point, hidden point, that is that point is basically whatever the activity, like one point we have to agree, like T3 has done more status and T3 is alive and T3 responded back, and when compared with T4, T3 completed 75% of the activity. That means suppose here we are talking about the status update. So obviously T3 and as well as T4. Any doubts, friends? Someone has unmuted, so we are getting echo. Okay, yes. Now you observe, guys, here. Maybe T3 would have done some 75% of the task, and this is done 63%. Obviously, the master has the option of confirming T3. And as our Wasim said, what about T4? Because we have to think through now. Okay, it's okay. T3 done the more activity compared with the T4. But what about T4? Should be killed, friends. It is not. I mean, master is not going to assign, and it's not thinking in those lines actually. So what it does is it is seeing maybe why it has been killed is simple. T4 is having the capability as that of the T3. So the master should have the same line of the capability while running other jobs, maybe J2 or J3. And here the many other points are there, like J2 may be absolutely fine without any task failure, and J3 also may be task failure, but this particular task 4 may not have that much capability to cater the needs of J3 task. So it won't keep all these complexities, friends, because it simply what it does is at that moment just it is going into that particular activity, and it is performing some a kind of estimation of the status, how much activities are done, and then only it is going to wind up the other task. That is T4 has been killed by the master. That's all. Okay, very good, Wasim. Good point. And one more thing, as our Sahu says, based on the status, that is free space and activity, the task will be assigned. The straightforward narration. And again, Shahid says whichever has the best performance over the task may continue. Yeah, and it seems Shahid has given the conclusion that other task may be killed by the master. Okay, and Harish says option B, T3 and T4 for better comparison of project report. Which one would be perfect for particular task based on the performance? Excellent. And again, Vedant is giving the answer like considering the situation of the scenario and status of both the task T3 and T4, the master should continue accordingly. Very good. And Janeshwar says based on their performance of the task, who is more efficient in terms of completion of the task may continue in the project or job. Okay, almost all members has given the right answer and Srinidhi accurate answer, and Wasim has opened one more discussion actually that always I love to extend the discussion actually. So that is a fruitful discussion. And Praveen added some more things, depends upon the execution and driver memory calculation. Excellent. Some more technical kind of the thing. Okay. So with that, guys, we come up with the master slave and as well as the client server environment. Now let me give you some kind of this thing. What exactly like the distinction between master slave and as well as client server we have seen. Now I want to give you one more convention, like uh, uh, this one actually, like how we are making use of the structured, okay, semi-structured. I also asked that question on unstructured data. First, let me go through what exactly this structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, and then I will come back. Okay, how we are differentiating those three kind of the criteria. Uh, at the moment, I am referencing the structured kind of the data, friends. Um, there are certain aspects like how the structured is using and semi-structured used by the corresponding criteria or industry and how unstructured is using. First, let me give you the orientation of what exactly the structured, semi-structured and unstructured. Okay, so because the advanced SQL majority of the time points to the optimizations and performance aspects, so that I am introducing all the terminology in the day one. So in that aspect, what is the topic name here? So in the objectives I have introduced course structure we have seen, labs we have seen, and evaluation process I have given, client server and master slave we have seen, and now the fifth topic actually. So this particular topic is nothing but structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Guys, here structured, which is having a proper mechanism so as to store, process, and access the data. That means whatever the storage logic we are following, in the same way the process and access should be followed. Now, if I am talking about the structured kind of the notation, best examples are relational models. Just we are having the table structure, and within that particular table, I am going to store the data. That is a relational database management system. Coming to the semi-structured orientation, okay, we are having XML, JavaScript object notations, all these kind of the conventions or belongs to the category of the semi-structured. Okay, so the appropriate files which are relevant to the XML and JSON kind of thing can be observed as a semi-structured. Unstructured formats. Now you see, guys, uh, if I am referencing any e-commerce website like Amazon, okay, or Flipkart, whatever, so I'll be getting some log files actually. And one more thing, while working with any kind of the multimedia data, maybe audio files or video file kind of thing, all these kind of things belongs to the category of the unstructured. Now, friends, after the advent of this Facebook and as well as the Twitter and LinkedIn, all these kind of things, these things are populating unstructured data, more unstructured data, even the e-commerce website, as I mentioned. So obviously, guys, when compared with the structured data, the usage of unstructured is more. Okay, so maybe in the earlier days of computing, okay, before advent of the all the apps like ICICI or whatever the kind of thing. Here the point, friends, very simple. Like in the earlier days, we have to go and deposit the amount and we have to go and withdraw the amount. Nowadays, there are machines where you can deposit, and of course ATMs are there to withdraw, and moreover you are using your online or mobile kind of the banking, so that the manual visiting of the banking hours greatly reduced actually. So the members are very of course they are using their own means of media so as to perform the activity. In that particular case, all the log files are playing a vital role, and all these activities. Now I want to open one more question for you, maybe just for the afternoon discussion. So the log file importance and processing. Okay, so this is the task one. I will announce the names later, friends. What I will do is, so just let me type this so that I can copy into the Slack mode also. Log file processing and importance. So just I'll increase the size so I can easily copy this. Okay, hold. Okay, this is the task one of the day. So just you go and verify that. Maybe while after completion of our lunch, just will be back. And second thing is um, in the task two, what I want to give you is SQL. Um, best or else uh, optimizations, how I can optimize the things. To explain the things, you need to talk about create, alter, drop, and truncate. How best we can use these things for the better performance. This is the second one, task three. Uh, so this particular task three is I'll talk about DML operations. This is also very important, guys. So rather than me explaining again creation of the tables and insertion, I thought of giving you this task to you so that in a way we can revise those aspects, and I can straight away start some kind of hands-on from the afternoon session, right? So the optimizations involves the in case of the insertion, any specific optimizations are there. In case of the update and in case of the delete, any optimizations, task free, and let me see how can we scope the time, because I have to introduce some of the constructs in the afternoon session, at least today. Maybe tomorrow onwards I can completely dedicate this afternoon session for the interaction. The fourth one is, guys, actually I want to talk about the TCL commands actually. So transaction control language commands such as commit, rollback and save point options. So you need to come up with the kind of the optimizations. Um, okay, so how best we can use, because friends, our whatever the point we are discussing in our session, it should link up with uh, some kind of optimizations or better practices. See, as our friend Sahu and Srinidhi and Harish said, even Wasim also, uh, as they rightly said, that it's not learning of the complex things. Rather, we need to apply in a better way. Advanced in the sense, I need to enjoy my learning in a proper way with less number of code, with the customizations or with some kind of optimization. So basically, whatever the discussion we are having in the advanced parts, definitely we should make use of the base or core points into the optimizations or better practices in the industry, especially in our company, how we are making use of these kind of the conventions in a better way. You should think through, because I feel these are all not new for us, guys. You would have done these kind of the aspects in the earlier trainings. If you are not done also, no problem. I'm not talking about that. Only the thing is you should come up with your own narration. Okay, maybe in the before leaving the session, I will announce the names also. Uh, to narrate. And but before that, let me share one channel with you. This is a Slack channel, and this particular Slack, I want to share with you guys. 1 minute. So I want to invite you. Okay, so what I will do is I'll give you the thread. I'll ask you to join through the corresponding thread. 1 minute, guys. Okay, link I have copied. And as I said earlier, guys, just you join in this particular Slack mode. Okay, so two important points I will consider in the Slack. So whatever the submissions I am asking, you can submit directly to me through the Slack, because LMS also we are going to establish, but meantime we are using the Slack. Second important thing is if you are having any doubt, maybe we may not always working with Teams. Just you can send a message, or you can share the appropriate doubt you are having, so that I can see and address. Okay, so that is what. And one more important thing is I will place all the material, the class shell, and along with some kind of instructions, all the tasks day to day in this particular Slack mode only, so that you can able to answer these things, right? So now let me copy these particular tasks into the Teams. Anyhow, day one, just you are not habituated to have this particular thing. So this time copying in both Slack and as well as uh, our Teams chat. But we'll try to use both the ways. Okay. So just I am adding the teammates. Uh, so again, I'm copying the invite and I'll be sharing the same. So immediately you can join. Okay, through this particular invite. So with our Indium ID, whatever you are having, so you can have a platform where I'll be posting all the material and all the tasks in that particular Slack, right? Okay. So now let me see how we have given the answer for your whatever the thing I asked, maybe structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. We are having 10 minutes more. Within 10 minutes, I have to cover, I have to sum up all the activities, and then I need to assign the tasks also. Na? So just let me use the time in the optimized way. So yeah, people are joining. Very good. Okay. So, okay. Now what I am doing here is I have to go little ahead because both the questions I have put in the before the break. Now who has given the answer? And by the end of the day, I will announce the star performer also, friends, based on the today's interaction. I'll keep that particular name also, and maybe in the while the days are passing, while the trainings are going on, maybe new members come up with the appropriate answers. Okay, right. So, so again, Sahu has given the answer. Structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Structured data is formatted properly, tabular fashion, as I said, in a relational model, where every instance obeys the tabular rule exactly. Again, he's explaining with example. That is the best way, friends, actually. Like, explaining the things with example is always one of the important point, actually. So if you are a little weak in the concept explanation, you can take one example, you can take one case study. That is the benefit, actually, friends. Okay, like did Sahu. Very good. And on the other hand, the unstructured data is not formatted. Excellent. Facebook, Insta, Twitter, excellent. Semi-structured is something like, is a header, Okay, as you know, like as I said, JSON, XML, all these things. And again, Srinidhi says structured data is data warehouse elements are addressable. Effective analysis. It has been organized into a formatted repository. Very good. More technical. It concerns all the data which can be stored in the database. Very good. Rows and columns. A little lengthy. Uh, it's okay, but revision is always expected, guys. Okay, within the one or two lines, if you could able to express your feeling, that saves our time, and at the same time, you need not go into the heavy reading. uh That is one more important thing. Okay, semi-structured data is information that doesn't reside in a relational database, but that has some organizational properties that make it easier to analyze within some process. Okay, you can store them in relational database, XML, very good. Unstructured, as I mentioned, which is unorganized, which is not having any specific uh, uh, um, relational model, rather it is having some kind of the human readable text or something like, um, these audio and video files, multimedia kind of aspects. Very good. A little lengthy. My suggestion would be Srinidhi can revise okay, these things. Harish, as usual, come up with nice, because always Harish follows some formatting kind of thing, how he is answering and what way he is projecting the corresponding thing. It is really nice, because each and every member is having his or her own capabilities. Those are nothing but the core competencies, friends. You have to play with your core competencies. Maybe on top of that, you can add some other points, but basically, we are having some kind of body language and some kind of the talents with us. You should not leave those talents anywhere, because those talents may keep you high. That is the basic important point. And however, enterprise resource planning, backup, proper ERP, as Hari says, and semi-structured web logs, unstructured web charts or LinkedIn logs, excellent. Okay, Wasim again, master slave, that already we have covered. This is master slave kind of thing. And yeah, Praveen again says high degree of organization, structured data, organized data. So relational models and all, semi-structured, as our other friends told, XML kind of the formats and all, unstructured, no predefined organizational format. Human readable files, all those things comes under that category. Okay. So any other obligations? No. Uh, Again, Janeshwar, clearly defined, no predefined, false between. Very good. So Vedant says structured data, almost all the same kind of the narration. It's perfectly all right. Karthikeyan, first time maybe Karthikeyan is responding to our questions. Structured data, generally tabular data, that is represented by columns. Database that holds the tables in this form called relational model. And semi-structured, yeah, JSON, JavaScript object notation. Unstructured, however, audio, video, all these things. So excellent, friends. Excellent. Okay, now let us sum up all the activities, whatever we have done from the morning. So, which is giving us a kind of confidence. So today, however, I am giving the key takeaways. From tomorrow onwards, I'll pick a person. He has to sum up all the activities, whatever we have discussed in the session. Okay, the first important thing is I have introduced the uh, course structure. Okay, and second one is the process of evaluation. And third one is the topics to be covered. And fourth one, we have seen some lab infrastructure, VLabs we have seen. And then we have seen some kind of MySQL workbench. And thereafter we have seen VMware so as to interact with the MySQL. And thereafter, I asked you to give some kind of question, these things, client server we have seen, and master slave architecture. And then now recently we have gone through unstructured, semi structured, and structured kind of the data. Okay, guys, just you see, core structure involves the document. Again, I'll be posting the document with you, and evaluation process, attendance, all the other criteria. You should be aware of these things. Topics to be covered. Okay, we are having 4 modules, span over 240 hours. Is a combination of teaching hours and as well as interactive hours. Lab, however, we are going to use these 3 periodically. Client server architecture, which is having some request response. There we have seen server may respond back to the client request, and clients are having their own memory and as well as the processing. And client need not update any status with the server. Whereas if I'm talking about the master slave is something like which is master give the appropriate instructions to the slave, and slave should follow the appropriate activities. And most importantly, slave should update the status information to the master. Maybe friends here, while storing the data or while performing some kind of the activity, slave should update the information with the master. That is the first point. And another thing, friends, we have seen if any task fails, then what is the which are all the activities should performed by the master. There we have seen many members has responded: Wasim, Sharif, Srinidhi, Harish, okay, Sahu, all members I got responses. Nice. And this master slave typically gives the understanding of status updates, which is a really helping us to reliable kind of the architecture while working with the huge amounts of the data. Now we have seen some discussion about semi-structured, unstructured, and structured. The data which is having a typical relational model, structured, semi-structured XML, JSON, unstructured, some kind of the log files and all. Now it's the time to assign the tasks. Okay. So let me see who are all not responded from the morning so that I can pick up. Sahu is a good interactive member. Bharati, I can give one activity to Bharati. So maybe possibly the task one. So let me go to what exactly the task one. So Bharati can give the narration of task one. Okay. So task two need to have the don't explain me what is DDL, what is not. I am not expecting that, guys. I already you know that, but how can we better use DDL for the optimization? Okay, that I can give to Karthikeyan. And Praveen, however, interacting Sai Srevanti. So DML optimizations, I'm not expecting you guys to talk about insertion deletion, but how best we can use. Okay, so Sai Srevanti, no? Okay, so Sai Srevanti. Mm, 1 minute, guys, sorry. So next TCL commands, maybe commit rollback. These are all very important, guys. Let me see. Shahid is very interactive. Srinidhi, of course, very good. Vedant also given. Who is this Satish guy? Whether he's why he's not in the call? Just to update, I won't give attendance to Satish, friends, because he has to take the permission from manager, and I should get the notification. Okay, then only I can. However, I won't give the attendance. Okay, he may lose those 15 percentage, right? Just to inform him, right? And less interactive, not like that. and one more guy I have to select. Any voluntary members are there to talk about TCL? Maybe that also I can take as a criteria. You can give a thumb. You can give yes, I'll do that. Any such members are there other than these three? Sai Sravanti, Karthik, and Bharati. Already I have assigned. The fourth. Sometimes I may give you the dynamic tasks also, friends. But 2 or 3 days we'll go with this. Okay. So let me select one more guy. It will not be randomly I'm selecting. Harish. Okay. Harish will be given this one. Okay. So only the thing is I'll give the guidelines also. Maybe you can open one blog or website. You can talk your own, or else you can nicely prepare a presentation and you can explain those kind of the things. Otherwise, you can create a document. Through the document, content is not important, friends. How we are explaining, how we are involving in that is most important. Okay, so these things also I am posting in the Slack so that you will be notified. Okay, so members were joined. Very good for that. Okay, so these are all the tasks, guys. And moreover, I will be sharing the class shell of the today's session and as well as the other things, okay, which are there, the document and all the kind of the things. Okay, so that you also have some idea. So how I will be evaluated and which are all the topics we are going to learn and what is the approach followed in the training, right? So let me here now itself I'll store the things and you can. Okay, I'll share in a while, friends. Now it is 1:02. I'll take 3 minutes of the time to share the content. So have lunch and by 2:10 we'll assemble here, friends. Okay, by 2:10 we can assemble here. So that's all. Any doubts in the today's session, please let me know. Then we can have a discussion on that. Let me save these aspects uh, so that you can prepare. So this is day one morning session. So I have to save in D. SQL training day one morning session class shell. Okay, 4/7. So just I have shared and moreover this I will be sharing with you. However, I'll share this document also, evaluation document also, so that you can have a look on that. Okay, hope no doubts were there, guys. Day one class shell.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I a little bit worry about my system. They mentioned in presentation 8 GB, which system is 4 GB and i3. So it work properly in future ahead in
Hmm.
training as well.
Hmm. Uh, 4 GB definitely virtual machine won't work out, Harish. I'll suggest some of the tools. However, afternoon I'm going to launch some of the tools in front of you. I'll give some tools. You can handle those things, right? Okay. And if you are getting the virtual labs in this week, definitely you need not worry directly because your work is remotely. So you need not worry about that particular aspect. Yeah, we'll address that issue. No problem. Any other? Ah, okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, then thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Yeah, yeah. So, okay. Let me post the today's Okay, you can leave the things, friends, if no doubts were there, so that we can assemble by 2:10. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
for
you,
your
sir.
time. Yeah, ma, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, day one.
Pawan sir, Vedant here. Hello.
Yeah, Vedant, tell me.
Sir, I wanted to ask about leave
Ah,
related to leave. So, whatever it is there, so shall I write it to you and Shalini? Both,
no
right?
problem, Vedant. Yeah, yeah, no problem. Just I will be just to keep these members. Who is your reporting manager?
Uh,
As of now, no one is assigned. Huh?
I think Vishalash is.
Visa. Okay, then you write to Visa and you put
Okay.
me in CC so that I can have a notification, right, Vedant?
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
And you promise me go through the recordings, whatever you have covered, and you
Yes.
then see attendance is merely for your understanding, Vedant. Okay. Hope you
100%.
hope you got the point, right? Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
That is important, understanding the concepts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it,
Okay.
Vedant. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, yeah, Vedant, no problem. Still more aspects to cover. Okay. Yeah.
Right,
Thank you,
right.
guys. Thank you very much. Yeah.